Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org with a video tutorial for the new Boston. In this video we are going to be creating a table, and we're going to be using the even and odd selectors to actually change a class of a particular table row. So I have an index page here. What I've done is I've included table.js as part of my JavaScript include files, and I've also got style.css, which is quite important because we're going to be creating a class that's going to change the tables, the rows of the table evenly or oddly. Now I have an example just here. You can see that we've got the first one with the background slightly a darker or a lighter grey, then we have white, and then we have this grey again, and then white. And if this table was longer, it would continue to select the first, second, fourth, etc. rows in the table. So this is all done using jQuery. So let's just go ahead and open up my text editor again. I'm going to go ahead and create this table first of all. So we create a table here. We're going to give this a class name in just a moment, but for now I'm just going to create some rows, and then inside that some table data. And for the first one I'm just going to say first row. So first row. We can go ahead and copy and paste this down to make 4 rows. And just go ahead and modify these accordingly. So just while I'm typing these out, this could be for example data that's retrieved from a database table that you might have put into a table. For example, for each row of data you might be displaying a table row and then the data inside of this. So you might want to find an easy way to append a class to this table in order to get the effect that we've just looked at in my browser. So let's go ahead and continue filling this in. And we'll say, should we say last or fourth? We'll say fourth. Okay, so we've got these rows in the table. Let's just go ahead and see what that looks like. You can see there's no borders at the moment, but we can fix that in style.css in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and give this table a class. For now I'm just going to call it table. But if you do want to create, say, tables that display this effect, you might want to go ahead and give it a more distinctive name. But for now we're going to keep it as table. So inside style.css, let's go ahead and change the styling of this, and we're just going to go ahead and create some borders on this. So we'll say border 1 pixel, solid, and black. Here we're also going to need to say table tr and also table td, and that'll just ensure that we get borders around everything. So now that we've done this, we want to go ahead and use jQuery to highlight the even rows or the odd rows depending. So we can actually use jQuery to select the even rows on this table or the odd rows on this table and then highlight them accordingly. And what we're going to need to do is create a class that we're going to add to each row. And that class I'm just going to call highlight. So all I'm going to do in here is set the background color of this class to F0, 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 which was the color that you saw in the first part of the tutorial. Now that we've done this, we've completely set up our page. We've added this highlight class as well as modified this class that we referenced with the table, and now we can go ahead and write our jQuery code. So we're going to ensure that the document is loaded and the DOM is ready. So we're going to say document ready, and then inside here is a function. Inside these curly brackets here is where our code is going to be, so we'll just pull them down slightly. Okay, so now what we want to do is add a class to this table. Now if, for example, we wanted to go ahead and add a class to the entire table, we would use a selector, and we would say .table. Remember, it's a class selector. And then we would say .css. We could use CSS to manually do it, but we want to add this existing class that we've created, this highlight class in our style.css file. So inside here we just go ahead and specify the class that we want to apply to this particular element, and in this case it will just highlight the entire table. However, this obviously isn't the effect that we're looking for. The first thing we want to do is highlight only the rows. You can see at the moment we've highlighted the entire table. We only want to highlight the rows, so we specify table tr, and this will just highlight each table row. You can see that the grey has disappeared from the outside borders. Now what we want to go ahead and do is select only even elements in this set. So essentially what we're doing is we're matching this tr set and we use a colon to do this, and then we type in either even or odd, and this will select the either even or odd table TRs. So each one of these elements will select either the even or odd, and then apply that particular class here using add class to these. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and refresh, and you can see that the effect that we get is we've highlighted the first row, left the second row, highlighted the third row, and left the fourth row. And if we were to go ahead and say modify this and just add some more table rows, let's just go down and add some more in, you can see that we get exactly the same effect. We've highlighted the first, third, fifth, sorry, yeah, and so on and so forth. So an unlimited amount of data, we're going to use the even to select each one. And again, we can change this to odd as well, and that will just change how we do that. So these are the even and the odd selectors in jQuery, and they don't just need to be applied to tables. They can be applied to, say, a set of paragraphs. It entirely depends. For example, we could change this to a div. For example, we could say div, and then all odd paragraphs we apply the highlight to. So we'll go ahead and just quickly demonstrate this now. Let's go ahead and create a div here. And let's just pull that down, and let's just type what's the name that we gave this. We'll just call it area, for example. So we'll give this an ID of area. Now inside here we could have a few paragraphs, and all of them could contain just some text, for example. So text 1, text 2, text 3, and text 4. So now we have something looking like this. So now what we can do is in table.js we can select all the paragraphs, all the odd paragraphs inside area, and add this highlight class to them. So now when we refresh, you can see that we get exactly the same effect, where we've added this background color to each paragraph. So it's versatile in the sense that you can use it with almost all elements, even sort of input fields. You could highlight every one. However, the main useful demonstration for this is using tables, as we did initially. So that's the even and odd selectors in jQuery.